Athena Stamos, and we're here at Wasteland Weekend for a dystopian episode of Star Cars. Each year, over 1,200 fans of Mad Max and the post-apocalypse gather here in the California Mojave Desert. It's an oil punk party with everything from Thunderdome battles, killer robots, live music, kick-ass costumes, freak show performances with fire and blades, belly dancing, and best of all, insane custom vehicles designed to help you survive the nuclear wasteland. The wildest cars and trucks compete each year for the coveted Vehicle of the Year award. This year, I've been invited to be one of the judges. We'll be taking a look at some of the gnarly original creations and also hunting down one of the most elusive star cars here in America, Max's Australian-built Interceptor Pursuit Special. See you on the road, Skag.
Any action film aficionado should check out Mad Max if they haven't seen it.
It's like muscle cars and swords and people throwing spears at each other. What's not to like, you know?
The idea of driving around and shooting people with darts and whatever you can find is awesome.
Back in 1979 is when the film came out. Back then it was done for real. There weren't CGI cars and CGI wrecks. They were working with what they had and really doing some amazing stunts. It really was the first film to kind of shoot Mel Gibson into star status. It was a low budget film. It made a ton of money.
What made you a Mad Max fan?
The car. The car did it. I always wanted this car. It's cost me a couple of girlfriends, a couple of wives, who knows? But the car stays. You have to have a passion in life, and this is it.
Car wins every time.
Car wins every time. This car is the top Pursuit Special, 1974 XB Falcon. It's an Australian Ford.
What makes this Interceptor the special car in the Mad Max films?
After Max's wife and kid were killed by a bunch of marauders, he went in the police garage, got the car, and came out for some payback. Then in Mad Max 2, it's much later in time, much rougher, more beat-up looking vehicle.
What do you have to do to turn the Falcon into the last of the V8 Interceptors?
You have to add a lot of parts. The front end has to be changed to the nose cone. Fenders all have to be flared. The roof spoiler has to be added. Then there's the side pipes. I've added the blue light.
So tell us about the supercharger.
Engaged by a switch on the shifter, applies more power. Horsepower is somewhere in the 380 range right now. It's fun.
Was there any other small detail in the movie that you added that you think someone might have missed?
Well, the steering wheel has to have a little picture in the center of Max's murdered wife and kid to be movie correct. I think that's only seen about 5 frames in the movie.
What was the hardest part in putting the vehicle together?
Waiting. I imported it from Australia. You have to go through the hassle of importing it, getting on the right ship. It was 35 days at sea.
How many of these V8 Interceptors are in America?
Roughly 25 to my knowledge.
So I see that this is a right-hand drive car. What's that like?
It was very difficult at first because everything's backwards. You can't go to In-N-Out Burger by yourself.
And if someone wanted to put together their own Interceptor, how much would it cost them?
I know at this point, 10 years into it, I'm at about $100,000. It's worth it.
This is the Seaskag. The reason we bought it is to simply build a car to come to Wasteland Weekend. It started off as a '79 Camaro. We wanted to go with a nautical theme. We started off with a mermaid in the front, and then it just progressed to the rear, and it got crazier and crazier as we went along.
Can you tell us all the modifications that you did to the base vehicle?
The first thing was the paint, and we used a textured roller and some flat black paint and just did it in about 45 minutes to an hour. And we put spikes on the fenders.
Took the trunk off so we could sit back there, made a jumper seat back there, put a piece of plywood on the back.
Made the harpoon out of ductwork.
What's it like to drive?
Mechanically, it's brand new. Outwardly, yeah, it looks like hell.
What was the hardest part about putting this together?
Time. We did this in a week. The week before the event is when we started.
Did you guys sleep?
What sleep? What sleep? We went graveyard. There's no sleep.
Sleeps for wimps.
I'm Paul Miller, and I'm the vehicle coordinator here at Wasteland Weekend, and this is my Marauder Merc. And I kind of took the idea that if somebody stumbled upon a Mercury and needed to make it a little bit more ready for war, they would hold it up with armor and air vents and weapons like missiles and a machine gun. I have a turret on the top from the movie Death Race. I had a friend that worked on that, so we mounted that up there. There's over 500 bolts on this car, and it takes a while to glue them on, I can assure you. This year I also added spotlights and window armor. The roof's chopped about 4 or 5 inches, so that's the other thing. I'm looking through a mail slot, and with these window covers, it's even worse. I do have to be careful about the pedestrians around here at Wasteland Weekend.
Tell us about your vehicle.
It's called the Muty Beauty, and it's a post-apocalyptic limousine gunboat. The goal was really to bring across the Flying Fortress homage. The base car is a 1985 Lincoln Town Car limo. Well, going from back to front, we added tail guns made out of PVC. Well, the windows had to go, and we kind of had to set up a line of people who got to break out the windows, and I'd say that was the most fun. Added these waist guns with mounts that are made out of Ford truck side mirrors. The guns themselves are actually Nerf guns that we modified with PVC and painted. In the front, we added a cow catcher off of a 60s fire truck. My buddy Brett did the nose art, was pretty amazing. It's just an awesome sci-fi homage, you know, it's Total Recall and the whole post-apocalyptic nuclear mutants thing.
So how'd you give the car its look?
We did a flat black coat and then painted the rust on with paint that was high in iron. You spray ferric nitrate on there and it rusts it up, so you're basically painting rust onto the car. It's post-apocalyptic, it's supposed to look trash.
At least one couple had no problem with Muty Beauty's looks. They used it as their getaway car for their wedding. It's time for Wasteland Weekend's post-apocalyptic car contest. I'm one of the judges, and here's how it's gonna work. We have a lineup of custom rides. Not all cars are eligible, such as past winners or cars made by judges. It's pretty unscientific, but we'll be judging based on survivability, originality, and craftsmanship. But most of all, it's about the X factor of awesomeness. I think the British electrics on this will die during the apocalypse. Not good, not good. Either gas or water back here, or both, actually. All right, let's go get the final judging on these things. We've made a decision. It was super tough because we also have to incorporate theatricality and survival.
It's a very hard decision.
Yeah.
It's a very hard decision because you gotta figure which one of these cars you're gonna get in and head out across that desert when you see the flash in the sky.
So let's go, guys.
We have our esteemed judges here to present the winners.
I'm going to introduce third place, which is this fine Chevy truck off to the right. Thank you very much. Excellent.
The second place, my favorite one, goes to this incredible Camaro. Pirates are always the coolest people, and this car is a kind of pirate car. Place 2 for the Camaro. Thank you very much. Have a great time.
Who wants to know who the winner is? We've got the Muty Beauty Rolling Fortress. That's awesome, guys.
We're going to do the Founders Award for Best Replica Vehicle.
One of the main reasons that this exists is because of a movie that we all saw. The owner of the replica is Mike Hughes. His Interceptor is dead on that car. And that movie and all of that madness has evolved into this.
What's your favorite part about Wasteland Weekend?
Being amongst my kind, my escape from reality.
It's just an amazing showcase for creativity. It's just an enabler for that.
Simple deal, freedom. The end of the world happens, and now you have the total freedom to decide what kind of future you want to have. Yeah. And that's what this is all about.
There is a bee.
Hi, so
Stop.
Michael?
There's a
Everybody
bee.
stop.
There's a bee on me.
That's right.
Should I thank that bee?